welcome. This is just a brief overview of the course, The Future of the United Nations and the European Union, which is a winter study abroad program offered by George Mason University. The dates are in January of 2022, and we begin and end our sessions at the University of Freiburg or the University of Freiburg, depending if you're speaking French or German. And we will do a side trip to Strasbourg, France, that I will explain in a moment. Okay. So this course basically examines some of the most important economic, political, and humanitarian organizations from an interdisciplinary perspective. We have a brief understanding of the history of Europe, especially after post-World War I and World War II. The creation of the League of Nations, which later became the United Nations, and the different stages of European integration, which is critical to understanding the challenges facing international organizations, member states, and civil society today. And of course, we'll talk a little bit about Brexit. We will have a number of guest lecturers coming to our classroom with a lot of time for questions, answers, and discussions, as well as 4 days of field trips, 2 to Geneva and another 2-day trip to Strasbourg, France. So the goal of the course is to equip participants with an understanding of the history, the norms, laws, civil and intergovernmental organizations, and how they shape the current international system. Analytical tools will help students assess the future of the role of international organizations in the 21st century and look at their past and present effectiveness in addressing important global challenges, including global warming, pandemics, poverty, human rights, migration, conflicts, and of course, integration and the rise of some far-right groups, and more recently, the role of refugees coming into the European Union and how that's impacted the whole structure of the EU. So different goals and functions and the significance of international organizations and laws will try to help us look at critical questions, such as what's the future of regional integration, especially post-Brexit? How are international organizations and civil society protecting and providing services to those who are displaced, especially the highest number of people on record? Will there be a trade war with and if so, what role will the World Trade Organization and its structure have? Will nuclear deals lead to disarmament? And what is the future of Europe? And also, what is the future of Europe in dealing with the refugee crisis? So your participation will help influence and help answer some of these very critical questions and hopefully come up with solutions as we discuss this with decision makers, civil servants, and nonprofit leaders. So let me get a little bit more into the details of the program. So this year, we will ask that you leave the United States on Saturday afternoon to arrive to either Geneva or Zurich, Switzerland, and take a train to go to the university. Both of the Geneva or Zurich, they're both about an hour-and-a-half train ride, both about the same amount of time. I encourage students to fly into Zurich because we will be driving to Geneva twice. So Zurich is the German-speaking part of France and of Switzerland, while Geneva is the French-speaking part. So it's different culture, different languages. And students are asked to not depart before Saturday morning on the 15th. You can arrive a day early or leave a day afterwards. So you can arrive on Saturday the 1st if the rooms are available and depart on Sunday the 16th. Monday is going to be a holiday and school does not begin until Tuesday. And when you return to the United States, it's an early morning flight and you will arrive to the US in mid-afternoon. So the most exciting part about the program are the leaders in the organizations that you will meet and see both in Geneva and Strasbourg. So here we have a list of some of the organizations in Geneva: the UN High Commissioner of Refugees, the Office of Disarmament, the World Trade Organization, the World Labor Organization, and the trip to learn about the European Union institutions in Strasbourg, France, is the European Parliament, the Council of Europe, and the European Court of Human Rights. It's fascinating, and all of these organizations are so different. That organizations' access and speakers may change depending on COVID, so please stay tuned. The cost of the program, I'll get into a little bit more, but I just want to start with a brief overview that this is one of the most inexpensive study abroad programs that you could go to, because once you get to the university, almost everything is included. You have your room, meals, 3 meals a day during the weekdays, and you will have one weekend free that you are encouraged to go explore Switzerland or nearby countries. And if you do stay in the university, all of the facilities are closed over the weekend, so you have to come up with your own meals. But we have cooking facilities and refrigeration at the dorms, so you can plan ahead. Okay, so the costs are listed here. The earlier you book trains to the university, and depending on if you want to get some kind of Eurail pass, the price really changes. One of our students found train tickets for $25 each way, I believe. And if you just walk up the day that you get off the airplane to the train station, your rate might be $85 or $100 each way. So plan ahead and look into the different kind of discounts and how many different cities or countries you might want to visit. If you don't have a passport yet, please apply immediately. There's quite a backlog. And the miscellaneous costs, of course, depends on how much you go out to eat, where you travel around. But if you stay close to home and shop locally, you can really save a lot of money and not spend more than $100. And one person told me she spent about $40 out of the whole 2 weeks, including going away with some friends over the weekend. So again, we'll have 2 weeks, 2 countries. The meals, the dinner is 4 course. It always has a soup and a salad, the main course, a dessert, water, and some coffee and tea. And you can even buy beer in the particular facility. The dorm rooms are included, and it is shared with one other person. We will have our own classroom, a beautiful classroom with great views, and the guest lecturers that we will have on the days that we're in the classroom will come and brief us there. And when we are touring, we will have our own private chartered bus that will take us around. And it also includes 1 night of a hotel room in France shared, and a wonderful dinner as a group, which is one of my favorite French meals. And we also begin our very first evening with pizza with everyone, so we get to know everyone. So those are 2 extra meals included. So most people want to know about the academic requirements. I'm happy to share a syllabus with you, but the biggest part of the grade is participation, active participation. And other items will be the midterm and the final. Most of those will be open book, so you might be able to have like a 1-page cheat sheet. You wouldn't have time to actually look at your notes or your book. Perhaps study ahead questions for those exams as well. We will have a very active simulation where you will role play some international organization or country. We will have a student representative for each guest speaker, and I will explain more about that. And each guest speaker will have their own readings that they will give to us sometime in December. So of course, everyone should read those before the guest speaker actually comes to the classroom. And I'll have some kind of summary reflection or something similar that will be announced later on. It is the opportunity to earn 3 credit hours, undergraduate or master's level. The requirements are GPA. It helps if you've had some intro to international relations or maybe an intro to macroeconomics. And you can earn credit through econ, conflict resolution, global affairs, the Schar School of Policy and Government, History, and Integrative Studies. So these are just some photos of the United Nations headquarters in Geneva. This is actually a view of Freiburg, the French pronunciation. It's a beautiful old medieval city with walls and many bridges. And if you like to walk or run, you'll get exercise, I promise you. So this is the only university in Switzerland that conducts courses in both French or English, or I shouldn't say both, that they offer courses in both French, German, or English. So all 3 languages are offered throughout the courses. This is the main street, 5 minutes away from where we're staying. It's a very quick walk, lots of shopping, McDonald's, Starbucks, everything you need. Hopefully you won't be going there. Lots of fun places to dine and a couple of bars. This is our classroom with the beautiful views that I was mentioning. We have a menu every day that changes for our lunch and dinner, and everyone raves about the quality of food. The lunch is many different choices and more of a cafe style, and you just point and choose what you would like. The dinner is pretty much a much smaller building for just us and a few people living in a dorm. So we have beautiful views, and of course the 2 trips that I've already mentioned that we will be going through. We will have opportunities to meet in some of the organization meeting rooms. This one is actually at the International Labor Organization, and have briefings with guest speakers. This is in Geneva at the UN headquarters, and we will have free time each time we go to Geneva around lunchtime to explore around, walk around the city and the old town. It's a really beautiful place. And again, you'll have the weekend free. You can fly somewhere and take a train somewhere. You can stay in Switzerland or go to other countries as mentioned. So Strasbourg, France is a very special town, highly rated as one of the cutest towns, most authentic, and we will still have some Christmas decor and lights up as we go there. This is the cathedral in Strasbourg, also very famous. And we will see the European Parliament and have briefings, see the Parliament in action. Last time we were there, it was the last day before the Britain took their flag off of the flag podium at the Parliament and outside the building as well. And this is the inside and more scenes from old, it's called in English, the Old Town of Strasbourg. The application for this year is going to be October 10th. And here are some suggestions of where to go if you want to arrive early or where to go on the weekends, great places around. And here are just some quotes from previous students. This program has changed me and how I view the world. And I have a video that I could show you at a different time. This one says that this is one of the best things I've ever done in my life. This is a person that was already working at the State Department and said it gave her a much clearer sense of what she wanted to do with her career. So these are just some comments of how great the individual speakers were and how much time they gave with us and how it helps with our ideas of our career paths for this particular person. And the second person says it gave them a better sense of their ability to push themselves in an unfamiliar world. And the last person here says it's a dream come true. And this person actually ended up getting an internship from people that she met during our briefing by contacting them later. So the top note is again of how great the food is, and the second person on how life-changing and how strong of friendships. And the last one is I strongly recommend this program to get a better idea about political development in the different institutions about the world. So that was actually from a Chinese student who said it was very, very helpful for what he wants to do. Well, thank you for your time, and I am happy to answer any questions that you may have. My email address is staylor9. So again, it's staylor9@gmu.edu. And if you are looking at the notes, it should not say South, it should say staylor9@gmu.edu. Well, I look forward to seeing you and answering any questions you may have. We are going to have a second info session to go over more of your questions that you have, especially about trip preparation, packing, on all sorts of things. So thank you so much. Bye-bye.